going to do some quick book reviews today. First one is Character Animation Crash Course by Eric Goldberg, one of the great animators of our time. And he did this book back in 2008. And I highly recommend it. Here's his table of contents telling you everything he's got up his sleeve for this book. This is one of the great books of animation to get to show you how to do animation. Once you finish with the Preston Blair book, highly recommend that you get this book. And you'll learn so much about how to make an animated film, how to animate a character. It will become your new Bible to do animation. His drawings are simplistic, to the point. He explains timing, spacing, how to do these walks for this character, different poses for the character to make him look very, very lively. Easy to understand language. Great illustrations in color. How to do acting. And there's some exposure sheet stuff. Truly wonderful book. He directed the sequence in Fantasia 2000 that was Rhapsody in Blue. And that's a piece of music by Gershwin. The styling was based on the great illustration style of Hirschfeld. And if that sounds familiar to you, it's because Eric designed and animated the genie in Disney's feature film Aladdin. And there's some drawings of the genie by Eric. So this book will show you so much about animating. And I wanted you guys to take a look at it and think about ordering it. Here's a part about exposure sheets, field guides, layouts, staging, getting your point across in your staging. A very important part of the whole process is layout and staging. Getting everything just right. Putting your picture together and then start animating. Placing your character against a background. Using the background as a place to hold the character and getting the perspective right. Here he's talking about properties of matter. Body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon. Here he's talking about lip sync, lip assign, having your character speak, doing dialogue, animating various shapes. Like I said, a really wonderful book. Highly recommend it. Here's a piece about animating to music. More timing, spacing. So, can't recommend this book enough. And the next book is called The Animator's Workbook by Tony White, a great British animator. Did his time working for Richard Williams at one point, or probably a couple of points. And this book is, like it says, a workbook, so it's got lessons, tutorials, assignments to show you how to animate. And you'll notice he's got a very different drawing style. And here he's showing you how to set up to make your board to animate on. Getting the plexiglass, making a case to hold your drawings when you get done, hold papers or cells. Here's a lesson on in-betweening, breakdowns, timing, spacing. Timing is when does the drawing go on screen. Spacing is how far apart are the drawings as you're animating. He's got assignments. Here's how you do a head turn. So to go from this drawing to this drawing. And how to do the in-between drawing. How to stylize that in-between drawing so it dips down and then comes up. How to put different timing and spacing on that animation for breakdowns. You stylize your animation by doing your breakdowns and timing. So he turns to look up like that by going down and up. If you were just doing a regular head turn, you might not do that. How to animate the eyes on that turn. Then the most important part, walks. They're not easy, but he shows you how you can do it, breaking it down. Walking to camera. Getting your perspective right when you're walking away from camera. Moving the arms and legs just right. Doing runs and jumps. Carrying a weight. Another really great book. Field guides, exposure sheets, everything is covered in here. So I highly recommend this book as well. And the next book we'll look at is Creating Characters with Personality by Tom Bancroft, another great Disney animator. And you can find he and his brother doing a podcast. I think it's just called the Bancroft Brothers. And these guys worked on various Disney films together. I think on Mulan, one of them was directing and the other was animating. Both very talented animators. And you'll see their take on how to design characters in this book. And whole different drawing style. He likes to draw with red pencil. And that's just his personal preference, red. And then he'll draw in blue. There's the dark blue pencil. But he shows you how to go through designing your character, starting with basic shapes, making sure you have good silhouettes, straights against curves. There's a Jack Davis page there. How to turn your character so that it exists in 3 dimensions. Variations on it, variations on character designs, drawing women, different size women, funny animal characters, sometimes not so funny, ferocious lion there. Again, very highly recommended book for you to look into. And you can probably see sample pages of it online somewhere. If not on Amazon, they may have a few pages of sample you can look at. I don't know that you could... Well, if you go to Amazon to look for any of these books, they may have Kindle editions so that you don't have to have a physical book in your hand. But again, very highly recommended book here. And the last book we're going to look at is this, Force, Character Design from Life Drawing. In other words, as you're doing a life drawing, can you create a character for animation? He did a book before this called Force, Dynamic Life Drawing for Animators. Really great book. Highly recommend this guy's books. And this book is from 08. All the other books, I think all the books today are from between 06 and 08. So a very different style because this is starting with life drawing. And so his drawing and life drawing is based on lines of action, lines of force, weight for the character, and he exaggerates the human figure to do these drawings. but they all do have force and direction and weight to them. Another highly recommended book. As you can see, all these drawings are very dynamic with their lines and the weight, the volumes of the character, or the models, I should say. And then he shows you the costume drawings and different ways you can exaggerate costume models. All these things come in handy when you're doing animation to do exaggerated moves, exaggerated poses. So another highly recommended book here. And this is the cover, Michael D. Mattesi. Great inspiration here. You can't go wrong with this one. So look into all four of these books. I love this part, the ink drawings, doing buildings, exaggerated buildings. Looks like towards the end he's getting into drawing animals, basic shapes, and those basic shapes define which animal you're drawing. So again, highly recommended book. All of today's books are highly recommended. I'll list them in the description. I'm not going to put up the Amazon links to them because the Amazon links are so long. But if you just copy paste the title into the Amazon search bar, or the Google search bar for that matter, or whatever search engine you're using search bar, you'll find this book, these books, and see if looking through the sample pages they give you, if you want to order them or not. So until next time, keep drawing, and we'll see you with the next video.